Welcome everyone to today's video. My name is Dimitri Dimitrov.
And my name is Elvira Boulay.
From the Dimitrov Boulay Piano Duo. And in today's video,
we're going to discuss 3 tips to help you get started, to help you learn one of Einaudi's most famous pieces, Nuvole Bianche. So the first thing that we see students having difficulty with is actually the rhythm when the piece starts in the second system.
I think perhaps we have to clarify immediately that it is in 12/8.
Yeah.
And so each beat, like if you're playing with a metronome, you have to understand that each tick of the metronome, each beat is going to be 1/8 note. So that's, for those of you who don't know that, that's important to know. And which would mean that each quarter note would be 2 beats. And so if you play the piece, if you have, like, let's say that this is the metronome. So you have 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Without me annoyingly tapping on the piano, so you don't want to kill me, you just have to do 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And now when I shut up, it's going to be a little bit weird in the beginning when you do it so slow now, but perhaps for people who have patience, because, well, bear with us, because people who are beginners, for them that would be something very useful. And so we wanted just to cover this so they know that each 8 note is 1 beat. And I would recommend playing this in the beginning with a metronome until you get so comfortable. And when you speed it up, it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. And as you see, that already makes a little bit more sense as what we are used to hearing from Einaudi.
Absolutely. So for anybody not understanding exactly the 12/8 kind of time signature, we have a video on 6/8 time signature, which is basically the same except for 6 beats. You know, there is in the bar, in this case there's 12. But we do go into depth in that kind of time signature, so check it out here. If you repeat a lot what Dimitar just showed you, you're gonna get really the feeling of the rhythm, but it's also very important to understand how the rhythm is built, because that makes your playing in general really improve.
Yes, my first point was for beginners, to count with each note. With each note. My second very quick tip would be, before we move on to the next point, is divide the bar into sections. The first section is this. The second section of the bar is this. And then you put the metronome, but instead of, like I showed you in the beginning, on each note, you're going to have only 3 ticks in each group of the bar, right? In the first section of the bar, you're going to have 3 ticks, 3 measures of the metronome, and in the second half of the bar, you're going to also have 3. I'm going to demonstrate the first half of the bar, and listen to how many ticks I do. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And then the second half of the bar is. So if I connect both, you have 6 ticks of the metronome. The first one aligns with the F and the B flat. Then after the first A, you get a tick. After the second A, you get a tick. Then again, you get a tick together with the F, the next F and the B flat. Then after the first A, then after the second A, and then you get the following tick in the following bar. It's that simple. So if I do it without any talking and you're just having the metronome being my hand, and if you follow while I'm doing this without talking, you will notice that I have exactly 3 ticks, and you can mark them in the score where exactly they fall, and you'll be good to go. Let's move on to the second point.
Okay, so the second thing that we see students having trouble with is actually on this place where the hands start moving together in a fast tempo. Etc. So this is the place where you very often see kind of the left hand running away from the right hand. So I've got one suggestion in order to keep the hands more synchronized and also to help you out with getting the speed that you want to get. So what I see very often is students kind of working really hard on every note, like that. So try to keep it light, but especially try to keep the left hand softer than the right hand. So you don't want the left hand to overshadow the right hand, because the right hand has the melody, right? So that would be my 2 tips. First of all, don't work too hard on every single note. You know, you're not a machine gun. You don't want to have emphasis on every single note. It just makes it ugly, and it makes it also more difficult to play. And then especially try to keep the balance between your hands. So the right hand has the melody, should be louder, and the left hand has the accompaniment, and it should be softer. So work on these 2 things and you'll see this section really improving. So let's get to our 3rd point.
And I can imagine that in this section you wanted to mention the melodic note, the long note, the dotted quarter note. And of course it changes later, but we have an upper voice and we have a lower voice, and perhaps that's what students find difficult here, I can imagine.
Yeah, so the first thing is I think that a lot of students don't even notice that you have 2 voices here, and there's actually a really simple trick how to see that. It is because the stems of this note are facing upwards. That's why we can see that it's a separate voice from the lower voice.
Yeah, so you can actually sometimes play just all the notes with the stems up. And then you get actually what you need to hear when you play all the notes together.
Yeah, that is the melody of this section.
So what would be a useful tip to get this going in a nice way?
Well, to be honest, I always tell my students there's absolutely for me 1 exercise to do this, and you're unfortunately all too impatient to do it. I still do this exercise myself, and that is simply to take time, enough time between the melody, so the upper voice, and the lower voice, to take so much time that you are sure that you're in control of the amount of pressure that you're putting. So you need to be in control to put more pressure and then less pressure.
And I would add that you actually hear a big difference in sound between...
Yeah.
And the more time you need to take, the more the better quality you want to develop, the more time you need to take between, because you want to hear, then you want to hear really a difference between the 2 voices. That's very beautiful later on when you play the piece that way.
Yeah, and I think like what you're suggesting, exaggerating it really helps.
Yeah.
So I think those 2 things, be patient enough to take the time to really feel the different pressure that your hand needs to make between the louder and the softer, and then exaggerate it as well.
Anyway, these were our 3 tips for today, and we are sure that if you try them, they're going to help you a lot and you're going to hear difference in your playing. If you have any further questions about this piece by Einaudi or any of his other pieces, we're very open to make videos also on modern music, because we believe that that's very, very important nowadays, that we don't only play Chopin and Beethoven and Rachmaninoff, but that we really pay respect to the new composers.
And speaking of new music, by the way, have you already checked out Dimitar's new composition?
Oh, maybe we can put actually a link.
We'll put a link up here. You can also go check it out. You can also go check it out. Spotify, I'll put the link down in the description.
And stay tuned, because this month is coming...
I was just going to say, you want to give them already the title. Nobody else has the title, so...
It's going to be City Underwater, it's called.
You're the first to know.
And so you can check here somewhere above, there will be the link to my first piece, which is already on Spotify, called Passage of Time. And then the first Friday of next month, of the month of March, you are going to be able to hear also City Underwater. And I'm really excited to share that piece as well with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to give a like to this particular video, even if you hate it. And we'll see you next week again.